Alright, now we're off to the races. Okay, so we're making a few things for dinner. Sort of restarted that recording. We're going to do baked potatoes. We're going to do some spaghetti squash. And then for Ashley, I'm going to do some frozen salmon. Bake that up. That'll just be, she's pescatarian, so I cook salmon for her sometimes. And then for myself, I'm going to do some vegan hot dogs. So we'll get some protein, get some starch, get some veggies in there. The spaghetti squash and potatoes are going to take the longest to cook, so I'm going to start with those. I've already got my oven preheating to 375. Get my cutting board out. So if you're going to be using your oven, I don't know, it's always a fun game to play to see what can you make all the things you want to make dinner and what temperature should the oven be at. My dog's barking in the background, don't mind that. So most things, if you roast them, are going to be from like 375 to like 425, depending on how impatient you are and how long you want to wait and how much you want to dry out the thing you're making. I'm going to try doing everything at 375 because I think it'll be okay. And I'd rather not overcook things that are meant to be cooked at lower temperature. Gosh, I need some water. All this talking. So we're going to do spaghetti squash, we're going to do baked potatoes, and we're going to do salmon, all going to be in the oven at the same time. So it's also a timing challenge that we get to play. So let's start with the spaghetti squash. I think that's going to take the longest. So got this little spaghetti squash here. It's not very big. And spaghetti squash, they're pretty tasty. If you haven't cooked one, they're pretty easy to cook. You're just going to get your squash, get your knife in so that you can cut it in half. That's another reason why, if you just have one big knife, you can do everything. It's especially useful when you're cutting up a spaghetti squash, and it's nice and sharp. So it's going to cut that in half. You're going to get your inside of your squash. You want to dig all your seeds out, so just going to grab a big old spoon, and I like to take the tip of the spoon and dig it in to the flesh on a corner so that you can get underneath all of the stringiness. If you just drag along the stringiness, you're just be dragging stringiness around. So it's better just to sacrifice like, an eighth of an inch of your vegetable. It'll save you a lot of time in carving out all this stuff you don't want to eat. Alright, so that's it for one. Do the other. Just gonna start with my spoon back here and dig in. That'll give me a place to get started, and then I can just keep peeling from that spot. Trying to gather everything. I don't want to make a huge mess, obviously. It's okay if you make a mess, but you don't have to. Alright, so get my squash bits, throw these out. That's basically the prep. So you can get fancier. You could drizzle these with olive oil, sprinkle them with salt. But we're going to do all that seasoning afterwards, so I don't think I'm really going to do too much. I'm just going to let these bake sort of as is, and that'll be fine. So what you want to do with the spaghetti squash is bake them face down on a cooking tray. Such as this. It's my nice blackened, naturally non-stick steel cooking tray here. So these are just going to sit flat down like this, and they're going to bake. I'm going to put a little oil on them. I changed my mind. This is mostly because I don't want them to stick too much. They're really going to be baking in there for a while, so they could start to stick a bit. Also, great to have your little handy-dandy oil dispenser. Worth every penny. Just going to get some oil on there. And to hell with it. Let's see if fancy. I'll put a little pepper and salt on there too. We're eventually going to do it. Just going to change my mind. It's okay to change your mind. So it's not second guessing, you're just optimizing on the fly. Plus, does this look more Pinteresty? I think that's important. So just pepper, I'm going to find my salt. And what about the sticker? Good question. Paper, you can always remember what temperature paper burns at because there's a book named after it, Fahrenheit 451. So you can turn your oven up to 450 degrees and you usually won't burn your paper. Pro tip there. So I'm putting these actually off to the side because I'm also going to use this sheet tray to cook the last part of the salmon. So the last part of the salmon, I'm going to do it in a frying pan first, and then I'm going to put it into the oven on this sheet tray. And I'm actually glad that I have the sheet tray going in early with the squash, because the sheet tray will be nice and hot when I put the salmon on, so it's not going to quench any of the heat from when I've been cooking the salmon. So these are ready to go. This is straight into the oven. It's been preheated to 375. I'm going to put this on the middle shelf. And that's good to go. I'm going to start a timer, like a 45-minute timer, I think. $45. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is our potatoes. So, let's see. Oh, we got little potatoes today. How many potatoes do you want, wife? I'll show you the size. They're yay big. What, one or two? Bum, 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 bum. I'm going to guess one. I'm going to guess that one is how many you want. How many potatoes do you want? One, okay. I think I just want one too. We'll do these two. Alrighty then, maybe I'll get two even-sized ones so they cook the same amount of time. Here we go. So I don't refrigerate potatoes normally, but we've been refrigerating them because we bought a bunch as the apocalypse. I don't want them to go bad. So these have been around for like a week now, and they feel totally fine, which makes sense. I feel like people used to store potatoes in root cellars for like a long time. I concentrated in archaeology when I was in college because you had to concentrate on something. I'm just poking these with a knife, nothing fancy. And we learned a lot about Peruvian and Incan archaeological history because one of the professors was one of the premier researchers in that sort of thing. So we learned a lot about that. And we learned about potatoes were super important. There was 50-some crazy variety of potatoes that they would grow for different sorts of things, and they would store them. They would actually make freeze-dried potatoes. So they lived at a really high altitude in the Andes, the Incans, and the air was really dry and it would get cold. And so you'd actually, if you left your potatoes in these conditions for a long time, the getting hot during the day and then cooling down at night, and the super dry atmosphere, which made it difficult in general for bacteria to grow, would actually dehydrate the potatoes naturally, and you could store them in these big rock shelter silo things for hold you over between harvests basically. So that's a fun fact. I'm using my refrigerator and it's been a week and going well so far. So I feel like if I can't keep potatoes fresh for a week and they can keep it fresh for 6 months, then I've failed as a person. Okay, so I got my holes in the potatoes. That's so that they don't explode. I've never had a potato explode on me, but I've always poked holes in them, so can't tell you that doesn't happen. They'll explode because you put them in an oven and you're going to heat up higher than the boiling temperature of water. So you're going to get steam forming inside and it could just blow up on you. I'm coating these in a little bit of oil. This will give you a little bit of a crispier skin, which I might not do for a russet potato because sometimes russet potato skins are so thick and earthy that I don't actually eat them when I eat the baked potato. But these are like golden potatoes or something like that. They're smaller ones with a much thinner skin. So I'll definitely be eating the skin on these potatoes if they crisp up nicely and they're all salty. So just a little bit there, and then I'm just going to sprinkle some salt. Yeah? No, it's fine. So let's put some salt on them. They're not salty and oily, and that's delicious. I was looking up today how long it takes to bake potato at 375, which is the temperature that I've selected for all of our items. And it said like 45 minutes to an hour, which is a little suspicious because I feel like when I do it at 400, it takes 45 minutes to an hour, but whatever. I've got smaller potatoes this time, so I think it'll be fine. But additionally, I saw a recipe where they recommend just putting it straight on the rack instead of on a baking pan. And I assume that is so that you get even heat on all sides, which I'm going to do because I feel like sometimes when I make baked potatoes, the bottoms get overcooked and they get kind of burned and not as good as the rest of the potato. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to put these right on the rack, and I'm going to put them on the rack. And I strategically put one rack below. I strategically moved the bottom rack up so that I can put the spaghetti squash right in the middle of the oven. And then these are going to be on a rack slightly above that so that if there's any dripping or things like that from the potatoes, they'll just drip onto the spaghetti squash and that'll be fine. Anyways, into the oven these go. Dropped it, that's okay. Let's pick it up again. There we go. They're all oily. Okay. So there's 40 minutes left on the timer. I think that's a good amount of time to cook potatoes because they're small, and I put it at the top of the oven where it's a little hotter. And on a rack so they should get a lot of even heat. Okay, so I got the spaghetti squash going, I got the potatoes going. Not a lot of exciting things to do after this, except they'll cooperate, you think, Dad? Put them on the rack. Okay. I got the endorsement from my mom, I suspect. So, see, why didn't I swear I updated this. Yeah. Update done. I think the topic of my video is forever making vegan barbecue sandwiches for lunch. Do you guys see that? Or did it update to say what I'm actually making for dinner? Hard to tell. Anyways, for dinner I'm going to have, for my protein I'm going to have some hot dogs. These are the ones I'm going to have. They are frozen because I bought them a while ago and I didn't eat all of them, so I froze them. Oh, it does. Okay, that's good. It just must lag on this perspective. Thanks for checking. These are field roast frankfurters, which are currently my favorite vegan hot dogs. I've had a lot of varieties of vegan hot dogs in my life, and I think a lot of people probably don't try vegan hot dogs, but if you are vegan and you've been a little bit afraid of some of the fake meats, go for the hot dogs. Because, or if you're going vegan, try the hot dogs because they're probably, it's a lot easier to imitate meat in the form of a hot dog than like other things. Because I feel like hot dogs are already so processed that if you happen to like hot dogs as a non-vegan, then you go vegan, you're not in for that big of a change. I really like a lot of them. So the field roast ones are seitan based, so if you're allergic to gluten, probably don't go for these, but if not, I think these taste really good. They come in this fun packaging, which isn't really necessary, but it's fun. I guess it's kind of fun because, kind of useful because they're in linked form, so I can open up one and not start, letting the other ones go bad because I've exposed them to air. They're still like nice and hermetically sealed. So I'm actually going to throw these two back in the freezer. Those will just last, I assume, forever. Yeah, I really like Field Roast brand. They sell a few things that I like. They sell these, you gotta try them if you haven't tried them. You can buy them on Amazon fresh. They sell little corn dogs with this exact sausage or this exact hot dog in the middle. They're like these little corn dog bites with the field roast hot dog in the middle. They're really bad for you, but they're delicious. So try those out. And I like all of the other things that they make. They're a little bit more expensive, but for their hot dogs, they're really not that bad. So these come with a plastic sheathing on them. It's, I guess, to be cutesy and pretend that it's like a sausage link. But it's not a fake. This is not a fake sausage lining. This is plastic. You got to take it off before you cook these up. These are kind of frozen, but I can still get this plastic slit and peel it off. So there we go. That's one. Here's the second one. Alright, I'll just toss this stuff. Alright. You know, if I'm going to have hot dogs, you can dress up your hot dogs. Yeah, you see the puppy? He's here to help. You're not really going to get anything, babe. Maybe you can get a little hot dog. You can get a little bit of hot dog, babe. You're going to be a really lucky boy. I'll let you eat it where the folks can see. There you go, babe. But you can dress up your hot dogs and make them exciting. There's no reason you can't make your hot dog really exciting. So I'm going to try and dress these up as much as I can. So let's do a little inventory of the fridge and see what I can get away with. I also want to keep track of the timer because when it gets down to, like, it's at 35 minutes now. When it gets down to, like, 20 minutes, that's when I'm going to start the salmon so that ends at the same time as the rest of the meal. So I got about 10 minutes to get my hot dogs planned out. So let's see what we can do. We have, boy, oh boy, what options do we have? We got these guys. I love these. Deli style yellow pepper rings, pickled pepper rings. So good. I'm definitely gonna put a load of these. I always put these on my hot dogs. Really good to have. There's no excuse. I mean, if you like pickled things, there's no excuse not to have a couple of jars of lots of different pickled things in your fridge because it lasts, I assume, forever, and they're really good and they're not expensive. So buy pickled stuff and put it on your things. It's going to add a ton of flavor for sure. So we're going to do some of those. We're going to do ketchup and mustard. Classics. Let's see. We'll do, speaking of pickled things, same brand, but jalapenos. Delicious. We have a jalapeno on there as well. We're going to do mustard. We have this Sir Kensington mustard. This is like the Whole Food attempt of, this is like the fancy, buy at Whole Food, expensive mustard. There's no reason to buy this. I bought this because I really like mustard and I thought I'd try it. Mustard can be made really cheaply and still be really good. Like Heinz basic yellow mustard has got the same ingredients as this and is, I mean, this has a bunch of fancy spices in it. You don't need a lot of fancy stuff. I don't know. I think mustard is only so good as you can get, and I like mustard, so I'm not going to buy this again. I'm just going to buy regular mustard. We have tomato ketchup. That's fine. Called tomato ketchup because there used to be like 50-some varieties of ketchup. You had to specify. I think walnut ketchup was like a very popular ketchup in the U.S. for a while. Fun facts. Let's see. Those are good toppings. Should I leave them in the camera? I feel like I gotta keep your flavors out so everybody can see. There we go. Sauerkraut, as the channel has mentioned, will definitely make an appearance. So now we've got 3 pickled vegetables. We've got pickled cabbage, pickled peppers, and more peppers actually, jalapenos, and yellow. So lots of vinegar going on here. My dad won't like it, but my mom would. And then I think, I don't know, anything else. Just gonna hunt around, get in some want to go for, but maybe not. But maybe not. I don't know. I thought I had some more vegan cheese, but I don't think I do. You know what I'm going to do? This will be an invention. This is what I'm going to do. We're going to do... Let me know if anybody's ever done this. I'm going to do egg and hot dog. Egg and hot dog. That's the thing, right? It's not. But I have leftover vegan egg omelet piece from when I made those tempeh sandwiches for lunch a day or two ago, a couple days ago. So we're going to try and do like a hot dog, egg, pickled vegetable, mustard, ketchup, crazy thing. That's what we're going to do. Yep. Yeah, so now I'm worried. The problem with putting a bunch of pickled vegetables on your hot dogs, they all have a lot of juice in them. And it's going to make your hot dog bun wet, which I don't want a soggy bun. So I think I'm going to toast the bun. I'm going to microwave the egg. I'm lazy. I'm going to microwave these. They're definitely better if you were to fry them up in a pan, but it's not that kind of day. I'm going to microwave them. For the pickled stuff, I'm actually going to pull some of the water out so it doesn't make my hot dog bun wet. By hot dog bun, I mean a piece of bread that I'm folding in half because I didn't buy hot dog buns. So classic bread in half will be the thing. So I'm just getting a paper towel here. And anyway, and I'm going to put my pickled veggies out on this. What's your hot dog story?
In Chile, I forget what they call it. They have hot dogs, Plato or something. I remember you had one with me.
Oh yeah, that crazy vegan place.
Yeah, they put avocado on it. That's really normal. And they put mayo, avocado, and...
Could do guac then.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a thing.
It's disgusting. It's like way too much. But when we were in Chile, we went to this
militant, almost.
It's very weird vegan, there are very few vegan restaurants in Chile.
But the one we went to were delicious.
They were really great. And this one was like, what was it? It was called like the Bunker or something.
It was called the Bunker, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and their specialty was a vegan hot dog. It was really cute.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should put some guacamole on it. It'll be, now it's a real thing. That was all my jalapenos, so rip to buy more jalapenos. Also gonna do some sauerkraut. Ugh. See, I can't tell how many people are watching, so it just says 80 next to my... I know it's not 80, I'm not that popular.
Your mom says 3.
3, thanks. Shout out to everybody watching then. I gotta plug my laptop in. This is not a professional, well-prepared stream. Alright. Bye. So now we're gonna do some sauerkraut. Just laying it out, I'm imagining it going onto the hot dog so I get the proportions about right. I'm gonna do 2 hot dogs, 2 pieces of bread, mix those up. So I got my pickled vegetables on here. I'm just gonna fold this in half and press out as much liquid as I can. You know, the liquid is, you're going to lose a little bit of flavor because there's a lot of flavor in the liquid. It's got all that vinegar in the liquid, but that's okay. I'm putting a bunch on. I really don't want a soggy hot dog bun, so we're just going to do this. Here we go. Now we'll be interested in a little bowl so that we can store our ingredients in a glass bowl until they're needed. That's what you do on Pinterest. Alright, so now I got my quote-unquote dehydrated pickled vegetables. I got 27 minutes left on the things in the oven, so I should start thinking about the salmon at this point, probably. Where did this fit? close enough. Okay. So we're gonna do. Apologies if you don't want to see fish get cooked, but I think vegans should be very flexible. Got this random blackened salmon, which is frozen. This is great for fish tacos. I hope that doesn't mean it's not very good. How to cook grill. Well, I have a recipe that I'm going to follow that I normally follow. I'm just trying to see if this is pre-cooked at all. It's not pre-cooked at all. So, gotta cook it the normal way. So let's... Don't worry, sweetie. I'm sure it's delicious. It's got seasoning and everything. You're going to love it. Oh, it comes in these two little fillets. You want me to just cook up one fillet, sweetie, and save one for later? Okay. So we'll just put the other salmon fillet back in the freezer. Blackened doesn't refer to burned. Blackened refers, I believe, typically to having like a really intense spice rub that you have on your fish or your meat, which then gets cooked on as you like hot fry. Typically, you would hit that rub with a lot of heat so that it really just like sizzles and cooks into the outer layer of your meat, so that it has this like nice flavorful crust. Confirmed by my mom, I think. So thanks for the confirmation. This is totally frozen, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into, we got a few minutes, so what I'm going to do is put this into a warm bowl of water and let it thaw out, because I don't want to, it says you can cook it from frozen, but I can't imagine you get as even a cook if you start from totally frozen. So we're going to thaw it a little bit first. So I'm just getting some hot water here, wait for this to warm up. There it goes. Alright. Toss that in there. My dad could not cook fish. He's a great cook, but I don't think he could cook fish. I'm sure he can now. But we went vegan when I was only 4 years old. And that's an interesting time marker in my life, because I can remember eating a lot of meat, which means I have a lot of memories from when I was 4 years. There are 5 watching now. Hey, everybody. Let me know if you have any questions. And one of the memories I have of eating meat is eating really poorly cooked fish that my dad cooked. It had little bones in it. I didn't think it was cooked right. I don't know if he overdid it or underdid it. I would have no idea. I was less than 4 years old, or 4. So I kind of assumed fish is really hard to cook, and so I have one way of cooking salmon, and the only fish I've ever known how to try to cook is salmon. So I'm going to cook it that way because I don't want to mess up. So we'll see how I do tonight with this. I cooked frozen salmon once before, and I think it turned out fine. These hot dogs are pretty much thawed at this point. I got this egg. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do the egg. Man, I don't know. So I've got this like half of a egg thing here. Let's get the bread out. Let's look at the geometry of this situation here. This is the bread I'm gonna use for my quote-unquote hot dog buns. He loved mussels. I do remember enjoying mussels. Loved mussels. I liked crab. I remember eating crab on the patio at our house. And shrimp was good too. Good times before I turned 5, presumably. Okay, so here's the geometry of the bread we're working with. I'm going to toast it. And it's about the size of this piece of egg. So what I think I'm going to do... just cut it in half. And we'll have like a... Doesn't this look like I planned it out? This looks like I planned it out. Isn't that nice? Maybe this will be like an open face thing, because this is a lot of food, actually. This is probably too much food. Baked potato might be for tomorrow for me. Because I don't want to... These are leftovers that I don't want to have be leftovers again. Yeah, I think this is the junk will go. So I'm going to... When this gets towards the end, I'll microwave this and this. And I'll toast the bread. And I'll put on my condiments. And I'll put on the pickled vegetables. And it'll be delicious at the end, I'm sure. It'll be an adventure. Alright, so now we're down to 21 minutes, which is about when I want to start the salmon, which is thawed out nicely. So I'm going to I think I'm gonna start heating up my pan for cooking the salmon. I'm gonna use my favorite non-stick pan. Put that on the stove. Put it on medium-high heat. Following a recipe from my mother-in-law that she'll make for my wife. We are home for Christmas every year, at least once. Because tradition. And I gotta find the butter, so we're gonna use real butter because I'm eating this. I almost had a butter. We gotta buy more butter. We didn't just now. That's okay. So I'm just gonna put a tablespoon of butter in this pan. Let that start to melt. And while that melts, the fish will continue to thaw. And I'm gonna peek a little. Well, the potatoes are gonna be fine. I don't need to peek on those and leave all the temperature in the oven. So this is starting to go. So let's do an operation. I'm gonna put the fish in here for probably like 2 or 3 minutes, and then it's going to go. It's gonna go skin up into that for 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm going to now put a nice char on it, and then I'm gonna stick it in the oven for apparently 30 minutes or so. It's a little bit longer than I was planning. That's okay. I think the squash and the potatoes are going to take longer than I was planning to. Yeah, that'll work fine. This is going to work out great. Butter's almost melted. Make a nice little oil slick of butter in this pan. Salmon is, I would say, half thawed. You can feel that there's still like a frozen part in the middle. That's okay. It's going to bake fine. I really just want to crisp up the skin. So I'm going to get the salmon out of a water bath here. It's in this vacuum sealed bag. I'm just going to slit that. Get that up. Go over to the stove. Wow, there's a lot of spices on it. I hope they're good. Put that skin down in there. Throw out the packaging. Wash my hands real quick. Start a timer on that roughly. Do you ever make toast with egg and just mustard? I've done toast and egg, but I haven't done it with mustard. I guess I should try that. Alright, let's see how this is going. Nice high heat on here. I'm going to watch this in 18 minutes now, so maybe at like 16 minutes or so, I will put it in the oven. So normally what I would do here is I would cook it skin side up for a couple of minutes to get it nice and crispy, and then I would flip it over and then put the whole pan into the oven and keep it cooking. But the pan I used to do that in, that was heat proof. Had a nice frying pan that was non-stick, and I could just put it into the oven because it didn't have like rubber grip or anything. That one got broken or something. Maybe I don't know what happened. Something happened to it. I lost it. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, so now I don't have a pan that I can put into the oven that's heat-proof. So I'm going to put this onto that sheet tray that the squash is on, and that'll be fine because it's also preheated in the oven. Let's see. Yeah, it actually smells pretty good. I like the spice. The spices smell pretty good on here. Get my spatula out. I don't know a lot about fish, but I know that you can tell if it's cooking if it turns white, which is a little bit harder with this because it has this aggressive spice rub on it. That's the other thing. The fish wants this fish. I'll get a lime out. We got some more limes. I'll get a lime out, and we'll do some fresh lime that you squeeze on top just to brighten it up again. Okay, so I think that's good for the stovetop portion. So I'm going to turn the heat off. Then I'm gonna flip it around, grab it with my spatula, and deposit it into the oven. Okay. So that's good. I'll move my spatula over here for now. So there's 15 minutes left on the stuff in the oven. Actually smells pretty good. The spice rub smells great. So there's 15 minutes left on that. I think I'll check on the veggies in the oven after 15 minutes. And if they're not done, I'll just keep them going. I think they'll probably end at the same time as the salmon anyways. And then I'll heat this stuff up and we'll have dinner. I'm not going to stick around. I think it's going to be another like 20 minutes until I'm done, and it's just waiting for stuff to cook. So maybe I'll take a picture at the end or something. But otherwise, thanks everybody for tuning in. This is pretty typical random assortment of food to put together if you're not really planning things out. But if you've got leftovers and want to make sure you've got a balanced meal, this is what we're having. All right. Have a good night, everybody.